Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of June 9th, 2015. Ms. Barak, please call the roll.
Committeeman Delcor.
Here.
Mayor McCauley. Committeeman Sirachi.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Here.
Mayor Thompson.
Here. Please join me in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, that notice of this meeting was made by the posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 7:30 p.m. on June 9th, 2015. First up this evening, I'd like to take a moment of silence for Marion Fenwick. Marion Fenwick passed away. For those of you who don't know Marion, she was the first female mayor of Hillsborough Township in the 60s, and she served simultaneously at the time on the Hillsborough Township Committee and on the Hillsborough School Board. She made numerous contributions to her township, and if you don't mind, if we could take a moment of silence for her. Thank you. First up this evening, we have the approval of the March 24th, 2015 executive session minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 24th, 2015 executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Committeeman Delcor.
Abstain.
Committeeman Sirachi.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Abstain. Also, we need approval of the March 26th, 2015 regular session minutes. May I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
Again, roll call, please.
Committeeman Delcor.
Yes.
Committeeman Sirachi.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Mayor Thompson.
Yes. Okay. Moving on, we're going to go to reports from committee liaisons. First up, Committeeman Delcor.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, just a reminder that the township is going to hold its second annual Green Living and Wellness Fair. It's going to be next Wednesday, June the 17th, from 2 to 5 p.m. And that'll be across the hall here in the municipal building in the multi-purpose room. The fair will offer various health evaluations, including a vision screening for anyone ages 3 and up, blood pressure tests, glucose and diabetes screenings, skin cancer screenings, and foot exams. If you are interested in any type of skin cancer screening, we would ask that you call the health department at 369-5652 to make an appointment at the fair for that evening. Also, Robert Wood Johnson will be conducting a blood drive in the Senior Activity Center. If you'd like to register in advance, you can by calling Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, the Somerset location at 908-685-2926. But certainly walk-ins for the blood drive are welcome as well. And all donors will be entered into a raffle for a $25 gift card from ShopRite. The fair is committed to sustainable practices in addition to health and wellness, information on recycling, environmental awareness, and sustainable strategies that can be incorporated into everyday life will be available at the fair as well. So there'll be some more details in this week's e-news. We've sent that out already, but anyone that has that's interested, again, next Wednesday, June 17th, from 2 to 5 p.m. in the multipurpose room. Also, from the health department, just a reminder to all residents in town that animal control officers from St. Hubert's will be canvassing the township to ensure that all township dogs are licensed. The individuals, if they come to your door, will have a township identification, so you can easily identify them. But if they do come up, they should identify themselves as an animal control officer and show you that badge. As we've done in the past, they will be knocking on doors and asking if your dog has been licensed. If you have not yet licensed your dog, you still have an opportunity to. please contact the health department or visit the website, and you can get that dog license. If the animal control officers do come to the house and your dog is not licensed, you are subject to a fine. So we ask that everyone please just license your dogs for the health and benefit of your dog, but also the township as well. And finally, recreation. We still do have availability in our recreation summer camps. Information is available on the township website, and anyone that needs some camp support over the summer for their kids, we do accommodate most grade school age children at various locations throughout the township. So if you have any questions or you want further details, please visit the township website under our Parks and Recreation area. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeewoman Macaulay has a work event this evening, so unfortunately she cannot be here. So moving on to Committeeman Sirachi.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items. One, it was my pleasure this past weekend to attend the 4th Annual Indian Heritage Festival, which was held at Orton Road School. It was put together or organized by the SKN Foundation, which is a nonprofit local organization. They have a number of community service programs, and this is one of their annual events, and it was a great afternoon, very well attended. The children put together a lot of performances, song and dance that were based on some of the cultural aspects or the history of the Indian or Hindu religion. Next, Flag Day. I know I've been making this announcement past couple of meetings. It's coming up on Saturday, June 13th, which is this weekend. There will be the 2nd Annual Flag Day Festival in downtown Somerville. The purpose of this event is to foster pride for our flag and our country. Be sure to tune into this week's Friday e-newsletter for more information on the event. And again, as I'm always reminded when I do make this announcement, that in the back of the room, if you don't currently receive the e-newsletter, there are sign-up cards in the back, so that you could be getting the e-newsletter direct from Mayor Thompson. And that's all I have this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Burchett.
Just want to remind everybody that if you got stuff you need to dump, the dump will be open for your use. You can get a dump pass, so you can use the dump to dump your stuff from the Department of Public Works between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. so that you can get a pass to use the dump. So again, if you got stuff you need to dump at the dump, it's available, and it's also called the Orton Road facility. Shop Hillsborough was a very big success this year. We, for the first 9 months, which is the first year that the program started, we collected $32,000, and that's getting distributed along to 1,402 households that were in the Shop Hillsborough program. So the third quarter tax bills will reflect the discount of the discounts that the people took using the Shop Hillsborough program on the third quarter tax bill. So look forward to that when everybody gets that in the third quarter. And thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. First up this evening, I have an announcement to make. Gene, get out your pen. There you go. Sorry, that's a reporter. I want him paying attention. I would like to inform the public that late this afternoon we received confirmation from the New Jersey Racing Commission that the application filed by the New Jersey Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association regarding the initial license for the planned off-track wagering, or OTW, facility in Hillsborough, New Jersey is now what they've deemed complete. If there are no legal issues identified or new documents that need to be submitted that would render the application incomplete, under New Jersey statutes annotated 5:5-132, it requires that the New Jersey Racing Commission schedule a public hearing within 45 days in Hillsborough Township. Again, we will notify the public when that date and time are confirmed. Due to the fact that this application is still under investigation by the New Jersey Racing Commission, information such as the application are not available until the New Jersey Racing Commission has completed that investigation. The appropriate time to address any and all of those questions would be during that public hearing, again, held by the New Jersey Racing Commission here in Hillsborough Township. As always, we look forward to the public participating in that process, and I want to thank everyone, and again, as soon as we have that information, it will be put out to all the public. Other announcements from me this evening: I had the honor of giving Daisy Troop 65052 a tour of the municipal building a couple weeks ago. They had a chance to come up, sit at the dais here. We practiced going over and passing new ordinances, and also gave them a tour of the township and everything that we have here. So I want to thank Daisy Troop 65052 for the invitation to host them here at the municipal building. That same night, I was able to speak before the Girl Scouts awards ceremony that they had in our all-purpose conference room that evening. We had many of our young Girl Scouts that were transitioning to the next level, either receiving their gold award, moving to silver, or bridging over from brownies to the next level, or from daisies to brownies and so forth. I was able to speak for them, and I want to thank them for the opportunity to speak there as well. Colonial Day, one of Arton Road Intermediate School had Colonial Day in the township a couple of days ago, last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, sorry, which is a great event that they have at the at Eris, where they basically transform the building back into the 1700s. All the teachers get involved, where they all dress up in period costumes, and as well as the students, and it was a great event. And I want to thank them for allowing me to speak to them that day and take part in some of their events. Also, I want to thank the YMCA for the invitation to start off their 15th annual hop race a couple of weeks ago. I did make a mistake at that the hop, where I made sort of a friendly wager with the YMCA that if they reach 1,500 registrants, I agreed to run in their race next year. I'm not a runner, so I don't look forward to this at all, but they currently have 1,300 registrants this year, which was their high point, and I got a feeling they might have 1,500 racers just to make me run. So hopefully you guys can help achieve that goal and get them up to 1,500. Also, one of my last things I want to announce this evening, or to again talk about, is the Hillsborough Township will again be hosting the Independence Day celebration fireworks on Saturday, June 27th. As we know, each year the township looks forward to this great community event. This evening will also include food, inflatable amusements from 5 to 8, a DJ and other recreational activities, and of course, the fireworks. Shuttle buses will be provided beginning at 4:30 p.m. from both the Hillsborough Middle School and Hillsborough High School parking lots. There will be no parking at Eris. The Hillsborough Community Assistance Network, or CAN, will be collecting non-perishable items such as cereals, snack items, juice boxes for future distribution to the community. They also have information about opportunities to volunteer. So please, if you are going to attend our fireworks, think about bringing a canned good or some sort of non-perishable items to that event as well. So now we're going to, I should also mention that the rain date is Sunday, June 28th for that event. But since we're not going to have any rain, it's not going to be an issue. Moving on, this time we're going to move on to proclamations and presentations, which I think we have a couple of people here for that. As we do those, I ask that after you receive your recognition, if you could please take your seat and listen to everyone else's presentation so that they too have a chance to be honored by you as they sat when you were being honored. If you like the photos from this presentation, see the photos from this presentation, we do put them in their e-news, which comes out on Friday. So again, if you're not subscribed to our e-news, fill out the card in the back so that way you have a chance to get it and see the photos from today. So first up this evening, we have a proclamation honoring George Malott for 50 years of service as a volunteer fireman. So George, if you don't mind coming forward. Also joining me down here is Commitment Carl Sirachi, who is the liaison for emergency services this year. Whereas George Malott, a longtime Hillsborough Township resident and member of Volunteer Fire Company No. 3, has served the Township of Hillsborough for 50 years. And whereas Mr. Malott joined Hillsborough Volunteer Fire Company No. 3 on October 8th, 1964, and served as treasurer for many years during the company's early days, helping the company to prosper with very little funding. And whereas Mr. Malott has continuously made sacrifices on behalf of the residents of Hillsborough Township, now therefore be it proclaimed on this 9th day of June 2015, we do hereby commend George for his outstanding service to the Hillsborough Township Volunteer Fire Company Number 3, where he has displayed professionalism, dedication to duty, and an unwavering commitment to the community, often at risk to his own life. Be it further proclaimed that we, the mayor and the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, thank Mr. Merlot for his 50 years of dedicated service and wish him the best of luck in all his future endeavors. Congratulations and thank you for your service. You sure? Yeah. You've never been a bashful fireman. Come on. Thank you. Okay, this time could Franklin Wasserman come up? Franklin? I have Committeeman Delcor joining me down here as a liaison to Youth Services and Parks and Recreation. Whereas Franklin Wasserman, a 7th grade student at Hillsborough Middle School, is about to become a bar mitzvah, and whereas Franklin chose to do a project symbolizing the meaning of mitzvah, which means good deed, and whereas Franklin is a sports enthusiast and has been a member of the Hillsborough Recreation Soccer Program, and whereas Franklin chose for his bar mitzvah to collect sports equipment for the Joetta Clark Diggs Sports Foundation, and whereas Franklin was able to collect over 150 items by setting up collection boxes, going to local sports businesses, and reaching out to neighbors, family, and friends, and whereas Franklin serves as an example to the youth of Hillsborough Township through his high level of leadership and community service, and we are very proud that he is a member of our community. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the mayor and the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, do hereby recognize Mr. Franklin Wasserman for his generous spirit, his charitable acts of kindness, and for helping to make our community a better place for those less fortunate. Congratulations.
Mayor, if you didn't mind, if Joetta, if you could also come up with a photo,
Yes,
appreciate
please.
it.
For those of you that don't recognize Joetta, she's on our wall of honor over there.
You're not getting away just yet. Now, I know you have to speak in front of your whole temple in a few weeks, so you know you have no problem talking about what you've done in front of this whole crowd, right? Okay, so if you want to say a few words about what you've done. Yes, he's got a prepared speech. I love it. I love it. He's ready. This is like the Oscars. We're going to start playing music in a little bit.
Good evening. It is my honor to receive this proclamation. I would like to thank the mayor and the township committee for recognizing my achievement. I would also like to thank Ms. Joetta Clark Diggs for being such a tremendous role model. Lastly, I would like to thank the many Hillsborough residents and businesses who supported me in my bar mitzvah project. It is my goal to become a leader for my peer group by continuing to help others in need. Thank you again, and I wish you all a nice evening.
Joetta, would you mind saying a few words about your organization?
Thank you, Mayor, for taking time out, and committee members for acknowledging Franklin for his fine efforts. My name is Joetta Clark Diggs, a 4-time Olympian. I love this town, and my foundation started here. We do fitness programs across the state, wellness programs, and Franklin was kind enough to collect items for the kids in my programs. So thank you, Franklin and his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Wasserman, Jen and Eric, for raising such a young man that takes time to think about others, especially at this young age. As you know, we tend to think about ourselves only, so thank you, Franklin, for your efforts.
Okay, at this time, could I have the Eagle Scouts that are being honored tonight? Kevin Bisco, William Freeman, Austin O'Neill, and Henry Toke. So where's William Freeman? You get to go first. Whereas William Freeman, a member of Boy Scout Troop 89, has been a Boy Scout for over 10 years and has recently earned the status of Eagle Scout. And whereas we, the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, recognize the many hours Will devoted to attaining the status of Eagle Scout, working with diligence and making sacrifices in order to achieve this highly coveted position. And whereas Will has served as the Boy Scout in an exemplary manner and is deserving of this honor bestowed upon him. And whereas Will has served in various leadership positions such as patrol leader, and assistant senior patrol leader. And whereas Will has immensely enjoyed camping outdoors, whitewater rafting in West Virginia, cycling the length of Cape Cod, and climbing the peaks of Yosemite. And whereas Will's Eagle Scout project consisted of constructing 2 benches in the Memorial Garden at the Reddington Reformed Church. And whereas Will serves as an example to the youth of Hillsborough Township through his high level of leadership and community service, and we are very proud that he's a member of our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor of the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, do hereby recognize and extend our sincere congratulations to William Freeman for having achieved the status of Eagle Scout, an honor for both him and for those who have guided him with best wishes for a bright future. Congratulations. Okay, we have Austin. Whereas Austin O'Neill, a Hillsborough High School senior and a member of Boy Scout Troop 89, has recently earned the status of Eagle Scout. And whereas we, the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, recognize the many hours Austin devoted to attaining the status of Eagle Scout, working with diligence and making sacrifices in order to achieve this highly coveted position. And whereas Austin has served the Boy Scouts in an exemplary manner and is deserving of this honor bestowed upon him. And whereas Austin's Boy Scout experience through the years has given the opportunity to travel to Yosemite National Park, bike the entire length of Cape Cod, and ride the rapids of the Gauley River in West Virginia. And whereas Austin has been a member of the Hillsborough High School Robotics Team 75, the Robo Raiders, for 4 years. And whereas Austin has worked as a counselor at Camp, how's that said? Ranaqua in Narrowsburg, New York, for the past 2 years. And whereas Austin's Eagle Scout project consisted of constructing 2 mahogany benches for Foothill Acres Nursing and Rehabilitation Facilities for an entrance, and later dedicating these benches to his great aunt, Fortuna Fudgy Godone. Oh, all right. Has been a resident of the facility. And whereas Austin serves as an example to the youth of Hillsborough Township through his high level of leadership and community service, and we're very proud that he's a member of our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor and Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, do hereby recognize and extend our sincere congratulations to both Austin O'Neill for having achieved the status of Eagle Scout, an honor for both him and for those who have guided him with best wishes for a bright future. Congratulations. There you go.
It was an honor to be able to do my Eagle project for Foothill Acres, where as the mayor mentioned, I did it for Foothill Acres, where my great aunt spent the last 3 years of her amazing life there, and I was able to dedicate the benches for her. Becoming an Eagle Scout has really been a culmination of all my achievements, but being able to be up here with the rest of these guys has been a tremendous honor. As you know, I grew up with, we joined the same troop at the same time, and being able to work with them and grow with them over the years has been a truly amazing experience, and I not only consider them my friends, but my brothers of the troop. And thank you, Mayor, and the rest of the committee for recognizing us tonight.
Kevin. How do you say your last name? Bizocco. Go on over. Whereas Kevin Bizocco, a Hillsborough High School senior and a member of Boy Scout Troop 89 for the past 7 years, has recently earned the status of Eagle Scout. And whereas we, the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, recognize the many hours Kevin devoted to attaining the status of Eagle Scout, working with diligence and making sacrifices in order to achieve this highly coveted position. And whereas Kevin has served the Boy Scouts in an exemplary manner and is deserving of this honor bestowed upon him. And whereas Kevin has served in various leadership positions, including patrol leader, troop guide, and instructor, as well as receiving his certification as a BSA lifeguard. And whereas Kevin is a lighting designer for Hillsborough High School and various other community playhouses throughout New Jersey. And whereas Kevin has volunteered his time to food banks and participates in the HTPS Extended School Year program, helping to educate younger special education children in need of year-round schooling. And whereas Kevin has been very involved in theater production since he was in middle school, and most recently participated in the Somerset Valley Players production of Narnia. And whereas Kevin's Eagle Scout project consisted of building a shed for the Somerset Valley Players and assisted in obtaining funds to build the shed through organizing various fundraisers. And whereas Kevin serves as an example to the youth of Hillsborough Township through his high level of leadership and community service, and we are very proud that he's a member of our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor of the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, hereby recognize and extend our sincere congratulations to Kevin for having achieved the status of Eagle Scout, an honor for both him and for those who have guided him, with best wishes for a bright future. Congratulations.
All right. Throughout my entire I don't even know. Throughout my entire scouting career, I was kind of trying to balance both doing scouts and doing other things like theater. And my Eagle Scout project was sort of a tie between doing Boy Scouts and doing theater, because I did my Eagle Scout project for a local community playhouse on Amwell Road called Somerset Valley Playhouse that I was very involved in. And I think it was a really good way to finish up both my scouting career and my career in high school before I send off to higher education. And I'd like to thank the mayor and the deputy mayor and the rest of the committee and you for showing up to my court of honor, because that was really cool. And I'd like to thank everyone that came out to see tonight. I'd like to thank my parents for pushing me all the way through, and the rest of the troop for doing the same. Thanks a lot.
Whereas Henry Robert Toki, a Hillsborough High School senior and a member of Boy Scout Troop 89, has been a Boy Scout for over 12 years and has recently earned the status of Eagle Scout. And whereas we, the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, recognize the many hours Henry devoted to attaining the status of Eagle Scout, working with diligence and making sacrifices in order to achieve this highly coveted position. And whereas Henry has served the Boy Scouts in an exemplary manner and is deserving of this honor bestowed upon him. And whereas Henry has served as a den chief and instructor and has received several medals for trips, as well as his Arrow of Light Award. And whereas Henry has been acting, singing, and dancing since first grade, and is an active thespian within the Hillsborough High School Theater Group for the past 4 years, and whereas Henry's Eagle Scout project consisted of refurbishing and renovating the courtyard and memorial garden at Auten Road Intermediate School, which included weeding, planting, mulching, and repairing existing structures in the area. And whereas Henry serves as an example to the youth of Hillsborough Township through his high level of leadership and community service, and we are very proud that he's a member of our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the Mayor of the Township Committee of the Township of Hillsborough, do hereby recognize and extend our sincere congratulations to Henry for having achieved the status of Eagle Scout, an honor for both him and for those who have guided him, with best wishes for a bright future. Congratulations.
Well, after Austin and Kevin, it's kind of hard to really think of a proper speech now, but it's kind of crazy to think about that all four of us have been in scouting for over 12 years. And kind of going around to like what Kevin said about doing Eagle Scout project, kind of you really have a hard time doing it, can have a lot of like ups and downs in it. Like, goodness, for like mine anyway, I had rocks and pebbles and everything under all the soil that I already had. So it took me about 362 hours to do my project, day in and day out. But I think the real biggest part, even when you want to give up doing something like that, is think about like the greater good. Because for me, it's giving back to the community, giving back to Alton Road, so all those young kids can read outside, can learn outside like I used to when I was a little kid. And I really think that's what really counts at the end of the day. Thank you.
We're going to take one more photo with all you guys. You still say something. We'll take a photo.
I didn't say a thing. Yeah, that's better than me doing an impromptu speech. We know what happens when we do this. He's notorious.
Congratulations. Great. Okay, Carl, if you don't mind joining me down here again. Now we have a certificate to hand out to Brandon White. Is Brandon here? So this is a pretty unique award, but it's pretty neat. This is a certificate of achievement, and this certificate is presented to Brandon White in recognition of 13 years of perfect attendance as a student in the Hillsborough Township Schools, which is absolutely amazing. So the story gets a little better from what I read in the paper, and I'm going to let you talk and correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand this was a friendly wager between your cousins about who was going to be able to have perfect attendance. How'd they do? But you had 13 years of perfect attendance. That's great. Yeah, congratulations on that. Congrats. I imagine you had some family members that helped push you to those 13 perfect years. So if they're here, if they want to come forward, I think they need to come up too. They deserve recognition too. Would you like to say a few words, David?
I just want to thank everyone that came out today, and the committee, and the mayor, and everyone.
Congratulations again. Okay, last this evening, for proclamations, we had a lot of interns that really make this township run all the time. We have an amazing staff, but we also use interns. So if any of the interns that are here, if you guys could come forward at this time, I really appreciate it. So I'm just going to go through the interns' names, and if you're here, if you don't mind just stepping forward, because I want you to be recognized by everyone. Is Samantha here? We're going to hold up on Samantha. Katie? No. Stephanie? All right, Stephanie's here. There you go. Is David here? No. Mark? All right, we got Mark. Joshua's not here. And Dina? Great. So just so everyone knows, these are certificates of appreciation given out to these individuals in recognition of their dedication for their internship service program to Hillsborough Township. So again, thank you for all your service. Thank you for your help making this township move forward. And would you guys like to say anything? They're all good. But again, they really helped out the township. I think all of us probably interned at one point. I know it was invaluable to my career, so hopefully you guys all want to get into municipal government, which most people say at your age. So again, thank you for your service. But I believe our administrator, Anthony Ferrer, wants to say a few words about these very talented individuals.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the mayor and the committee for allowing the internship here at Hillsborough Township, not only through the high school, but we work with Rutgers and also Raritan Valley Community College in letting the young youth here of the future have an opportunity. There's so many different departments here at the township, and it works both well for our department heads as well as the students. Because coming in with the new knowledge, technology, helping the folks who've been here for a while, and I think the experience for the folks up here has been tremendous, and it really helps the township. Just imagine the force that we have now with almost each department having 1 or 2 interns throughout the building. So I want to thank them for their time and dedication. I know Deborah Blaney's here and Betsy Hollenbach from the tax department. A lot of my department heads couldn't make it tonight, but again, they're extremely valuable here to the township, and they're learning, and we've actually had some of our interns come back and become employees as well. So again, thank you very much for your time and dedication, and the mayor and the township committee allowing these programs to happen here in Hillsborough. Thank you.
Again, thank you. Okay. At this time, I know everyone wants to stay here and hear everything else we're going to say, but I understand if you don't. And Dr. Bob Matros, who's in charge of the Wildlife Commission, who presents next, feelings will not be hurt, if I'm correct, if you do leave. So, Kaz, we'll take a 5-minute break. Thank you all for attending, and congratulations to everyone. Thank you, everyone. At this time, we're going to be moving on to a presentation from the Wildlife Commission, and we have Dr. Matros here to do that presentation. So, Dr. Matros, if you don't mind.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor and the rest of the Township Committee. I guess we're back again. This is our 11th year now, 10th, somewhere up in there. 10th. Doing the presentation. Again, we had a successful, very safe year out there. Lieutenant Pryor is not here this evening, but he reported, again, no incidents, no occurrences with the police department or with the Fish and Game this year on any of the township parcels, which is, that's our ultimate goal, is, you know, have a safe hunt out there and be safe as possible. So it's been uneventful for the past 10 years, so that's what we want. That's a good thing. So, we can get on with the program. The mission statement, I don't know if you want me to read it or not. It's the same mission statement we've had all the years.
I think you don't need to read it.
With that, it's basically to control the deer population in town. We also incorporated some of the coyote hunting also in there. But again, since we've stated that, you rarely even see one. We haven't harvested one yet. So, safety again is the priority since 2004. Wildlife Management has been proud to 100% safety record for the hunters involved. Our rules and regulations, we follow the state regulations, but we also have a few more that we added onto the state regulations. Each permit is issued per zone. You have to hunt with that permit only. It's not transferable. You have to park in special areas. Designated areas, the hunters have an issued parking pass. They're supposed to put in the window to identify that they're there. You have to be in a tree stand at least 10 feet in the air. As the portable stands have to be marked with the identification. No permanent stands are allowed, so you don't see the old wooden ones in the trees. They're dangerous anyway. They break, they fall, they rot. So again, it's all approved stands with the identification number on it, so we know who has that stand there. It's supposed to be 1 hunter per stand that's permanent there that you can leave for the season. After that, you have to remove it by the day. And after 2 weeks after the season, the stands are supposed to be removed. You're supposed to have the permit while you're on the township property. And even archery hunters, you have to wear a minimum of 200 square inches of blaze orange while you're deer hunting or any hunting with a firearm. But we also ask you while the hunter with the bow is on the ground that they wear orange also as an extra protection, because there are seasons that overlap. We also have them do surveys. They return the survey at the end of the year so we can compile our data. They have to have $1 million insurance policy. Target practice is prohibited. You cannot hunt on Sundays. And state laws, you have to be 150 feet from a building with a knocked arrow or 400 feet with a loaded firearm without permission from the landowners or the surrounding property. Also in Hillsborough, you can't even be on the ground with any weapon, bow or gun loaded. You load once you're in the air, and you have to unload before you get out of the stand. You also have to be 450 feet from a school, playground, ball field, things like that. You have to, we require you be 100 feet from at least the public road. The permit is only good for deer and coyote. A safety harness is a must. You know, we even incorporate that in our hunter safety program. We have a hunter safety person come in from Fish and Game, and he gives a pretty long program on tree stand safety and other safety programs out there. Keith's a good guy. He's been there for 10 years now with us. And again, your hunting permit can be revoked any time for a New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife Code violation or a Hillsborough Township violation. So far, we haven't had any of those problems. The permits also, when they're sent to the state or to the township, when they receive a permit, we also run their license through the state to make sure there's no other outstanding violations on their licenses. They required, past couple of years, 1 deer at least in the signed area. If not, they have to go back into the lottery. They're also responsible for posting the signs. We used to have Public Works do that, but it's easier to have the hunters do it. It takes the burden off the Public Works. The only time Public Works would be doing is if we get a new piece of property and we're not sure on the borders. They can get out there with the township maps and the GPS and mark it out for the first time, and then we will follow it up from there. This is just a list of the properties. We added the PID piece in Zone 7 this year with 10 hunters. It's 237 acres. So there's 20 parcels all together now. And this is tabulated information in the next couple slides of what was harvested over the last season. 57 surveys returned. We had a total of 116 deer harvested, 30 with firearm, 86 with archery. We had 28 males, 88 females, and a total of 987 days hunted. With management, you want a high doe to buck ratio, and you know we have almost, what, 3 to 1 there? So that's a pretty good ratio out there for the harvest there. And the number went up this year too. 116 went up a bit, and I'll get to that later. You should look at the tabulations there, the list of the areas hunted. Shows you the revenue that's brought in. We charge a $70 fee for the permit. The money goes into the fund for the processing of the deer, for donations for the Hunters Helping the Hungry program. And just Tom put together the surveys returned, harvested. You know, we're up, well, it was 90 deer last year, 116 this year. Part of that was that new PID piece. I took the numbers tonight. I counted up. We took 21 deer off that property last year in itself. And I'm sure it would have been more if it wasn't for the last month of the season where we had all that snow and ice and severe cold weather. It was just, you know, too cold for me to be out there. Too old for that now. And it's out of, what, this year was a 76% rate, female to buck ratio. Hillsborough incorporates 2 zones. West of 206 is zone 12. East of 206 is zone 14. The state breaks up the management areas just so they know, and also to get a few more dollars out of the hunters. There's the map right there. And basically from Fish and Game last year, there were 906 deer harvested in Hillsborough Township in itself, on all the pieces in Hillsborough. So that's even up quite a bit from 2013-14. Here's basically just a list of the breakdown. Fish and Game is keeping better records. They went to an automatic harvest reporting system where you can either do it on the computer or on the phone. You no longer have to go to a deer check-in station, which can be quite a bit out of your way right now. I mean, the nearest one in the past was over in White House or up in Hopewell. So, you know, the guy's got an extra half an hour or more, 40-minute ride each way to check a deer, and it's a little inconvenient. We're here now, you just do it on the phone, or you can do it on the computer there. And they tabulate it a little better, actually, if it's township property, public property, private property. They break it down pretty good now. So, I'll even give you a youth day, firearm days. Motor vehicle accidents have been steadily going downhill, which is good with the collisions. So 2014, there were 259 deer reported for pickup. Those are the deer with the X's on there that they've been called in for supposedly pickup. 13 deer were donated for the Hunters Helping the Hungry program, 600 pounds probably of deer venison. It cost us $975. The $75 permit fee we use for that processing of the deer. So there's usually around 50 hunters. So we can actually donate 50 deer, but last year was just, 13 there. So if you look over the years, just the totals of the pounds of venison. So total are up to, 5,300. So we're approaching 3 tons. So the recommendations for next year: continue the replacement of worn, faded deer signs. We drive around town, you see a sign where we report to Public Works. We see brush overgrowing on certain areas that are township pieces. We can ask them if they can cut them back a bit, give people a little more visibility of the deer when they run out. If it's private property, we really can't do anything about it. Maybe make a recommendation to the landowner. Maybe they'll cut it back. Continue with the wildlife tips. There are plant and wildlife pamphlets available at the township, I believe, at the mayor's office there, showing you what indigenous plants you can plant that are deer resistant. They're hungry, they're going to eat it. But the last 2 winters were pretty tough, so they were eating things they shouldn't have been eating, but when they're starving, they're going to eat. So there's a list there also of the plants. So the recommendations for 2015-16, continue with the Hunter Helping the Hungry program. That's an excellent program throughout the state. It doesn't get the funding it needs, but at least we're making our part with the township. Draw 3 alternate permits in case somebody either calls up. We ask the guys if they're going to be laid up, or even the women now, if they are tied up at work and they can't hunt, at least let us know. We can kind of fill somebody in their spot temporarily rather than let the spot sit open. Continue to incorporate the tree stand safety program to continue the 100% safety program. That's the biggest risk. Most hunting accidents occur. It's people falling out of tree stands. And you fall 10, 15 feet on the ground, it could kill you in plain English, or ruin your life forever. So we're also thinking about removing Area 8. Area 8 is a little piece of property down Beekman Lane across from Duke's. It's basically an open field, and half the hedgerow belongs to somebody else. Half the hedgerow belongs to Hillsborough. We really haven't had any hunters even apply for the piece the past couple of years, so we're just going to pull it out of the program. And then maybe if it opens up a little more later on, we can add it, but it's not really an accessible piece to hunt. And we've had some issues last year, as the committee is aware of. So if you order a permit, you'd failed to pick up a permit within 2 weeks of insurance, and without prior notice, you'll lose the permit and are required to go back into the lottery in the subsequent year in a lower priority. Hunters that don't follow the rules or don't shoot a deer, don't turn in their survey, if they reapply the following year, we put them in the 3rd lottery, which is the non-priority lottery. Hillsborough residents priority county, the 2nd lottery, and then out of county, the 3rd lottery. If we had an abundance of hunters, and as compared to spots, those people who didn't follow the rules, as like turning the survey in or not shooting deer, would actually be out of the program completely. But since we have the spots and we have the hunters, then we don't have the amount of hunters applying. We put them in as a courtesy there. But if we had, X amount, 100 hunters applying, and other guys that didn't, they'd be out of the program. Again, the Wildlife Management Commission reserves the right to make all final decisions regarding the permit process and permit recipients as deemed to be in the best interest of the township, Hillsborough Township Deer Management Program, with approval of the Township Committee as appropriated. We've had, last year we had a couple issues. At least we can have a little more say. We try to clarify things a little bit. So when they came back and said, well, it wasn't in the rules, well, we're trying to put these things into the rules now. And this big recommendation this year, hunters that have harvested 2 or more deer will be allowed to maintain their current zone until that hunter either requests to change zones or fails to follow the rules as set forth by the Wildlife Management Commission. At that point, the hunter will either be allowed to go back into the lottery process or be removed from the program as seen fit by the Commission. We basically have the same hunters every year reapplying to the job for the spots. You have, if you shoot a deer, you can continue for 3 years, as you guys know, and it's the same guys reapplying. Montgomery does the program. There's a minimum amount of deer you have to shoot, and if you harvest those deer, you automatically stay in the program. If you don't, you're either out or into the lottery again. So you have guys out there, or hunters out there, that are doing the job. They're harvesting the deer. They're following the rules. What's the sense of having them reapply in 3 years when they're doing the job they're supposed to be doing? If they want to change zones, they have to reapply for that zone. But, I know some guys that have been in the same zone for 10 years now. So it'll take the burden off of Diane on the lottery on some things, because she puts a lot of time and effort into that. So it'll help hopefully reduce some of that for her. And again, the signs there, I got to talk to Diane too, because we need some more signs ordered up, the posters. So, well, that's the program and our recommendations for this year. So it's up to the committee now. I say these seem fit there. Well, unless they want further discussion, so.
All right. No, thank you, Dr. Matros, again, for that very informative presentation. We would take your recommendations under advisement, and we'll see if we're going to be adding or doing any things that you guys have asked for. Very proud that once again we have that 100% safety record. I think that's very impressive for our township and for our open space program. So, any comments from the dais before I move on the agenda?
Just as noted, the safety mark is the one that's really the precipice. I mean, these guys work as a liaison for this group. I know the commission works extremely hard on developing regulations that not only ensure the safety of the hunters, but more importantly, the safety of the rest of the town. It's a program that's been successful both from a safety standpoint, but also when you look at what they've been able to do with the harvesting. And supporting some of the programs for the needy. Program's been very successful, and I appreciate the effort that goes into all the work to put that together.
One thing also, besides harvesting the deer for the homeless, not only doing it for the Hunters Helping the Hungry program, if deer populations get overwhelming, they destroy the habitat. And once the habitat is destroyed, it affects the other wildlife and structures that are there, and it really can ruin the entire environment in the area. You start getting erosion problems. I mean, you go up in the Sourlands, it's void. You walk down a trail, you're not supposed to be able. You should be able to see the trail and not deviate from it. You walk up on the Sourland trails, and it's easy to deviate because the whole understory is gone, and that's because of just overpopulation of the deer. So, and then you get non-indigenous plants grow back, and they're very invasive, and that's not also good for the environment too. So, that's also one of the goals there too. So, all right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And I think that was just kind of the genesis is why it was renamed from Deer Commission to Wildlife Commission, more so for that exact reason. It's a much more comprehensive program. So.
Okay. Other comments? Nope. Seeing none, thank you again for your presentation this evening, and do have a good evening. Next up, we have an appointment. It's a mayoral appointment, so I will just be reading to the record, and that is for Tim Coyle, who's here this evening. to the Historic Preservation Commission to seat number 1 to an unexpired term ending 12/31/2016. Congratulations, and please do good work for us.
Thank you, Mayor.
Again, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We don't need to take a brief pause because I let everyone leave before, so I'm going to move on to, there is no new business, and moving on to public comment on the, that's not on the agenda. I know John Anderson, you're here this evening. John?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, committee. My name is John Anderson with Jersey Central Power and Light. Here to talk about my Eagle Scout project. I built a substation. I was dared to do that. I had to do it.
Keep clearing trees.
Yes,
that's
but all kidding aside, just to refresh everyone's memory, in West Amwell Township, JCP&L began a project to construct a new high voltage substation. And you may say, okay, that's great for West Amwell. What does that have to do with Hillsborough? Well, the answer is everything. That this is a high voltage 230 kV substation, which in essence what that does, you bring that voltage into the area, it then steps it down in that substation to a lower or sub-transmission voltage of 34,500 volts. And what's key to that is the, in essence, kind of like a network, if you will, of different circuits at that sub-transmission level that now serve all the other substations in the area, including East Flemington sub, which feeds Hillsborough, including Neshannock sub, which feeds Hillsborough. So what's key to this is that not only is this just such a critical infrastructure improvement for this area, but even more importantly is the speed in which we're able to get it done. Okay, so everybody's talking about wanting to see investment in the infrastructure post Sandy, post other major storm events. So this project was critical. This was something we went and completed the application process in 2014. We put the shovel in the ground for this new substation in October. We flipped the switch and energized the sub on May 15th. So in terms of moving a project from literally from the planning stages to construction to energizing, commissioning, and putting online, what's so critical for this is that really for Jersey Central, we kind of operate in terms of for lack of a better word, but like almost kind of like a fiscal year, if you will, in terms of June 1st of every year is where we set all of our priorities and projects for summer critical or summer readiness. So what made this important is that this, of course, was in fact very much a summer critical project. And so that to get this done in time for summer 2015 so that we're ready for heat waves, thunderstorms, other events that may in fact knock the power out or affect the grid, this now allows us to be able to, with this new substation online, do a tremendous amount of just rerouting of traffic in terms of electricity. The bottom line, keeps the lights on. So really that's the extent of it. The only other thing I would mention tonight is we also have a reliability improvement program. We've been working on the circuits out of East Flemington substation, which is again is critical also because it feeds into this township, but just some standard maintenance, but out there with new fusing, upgrading insulators, checking, replacing cross arms, so just general maintenance. So really with that said, again, this is kind of my periodic stop in and just give you an update of what's going on at JCP&L. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them, and if not, I'll wish you a good evening.
Again, I'll mention the company of JCP&L pre-Sandy, post-Sandy, two completely different companies. I can't say how much I know. I appreciate getting the emails. I know when there's an outage anywhere in Somerset County, down to the lot and block of where it's happening at, and it's great for us to be able to communicate back to the residents when there is an outage in Hillsborough. Thankfully, there has not been many. I don't think any this year. You guys have done a tremendous job, and I ask that you keep up the good work. And thank you for all your efforts in cleaning up the lines, getting the vegetation back so that we don't have the trees falling on the lines anymore. And you guys have really done a tremendous job, and we do appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I do appreciate it. It's obviously a lot of hard work, but this is, in essence, as they say, the new normal. So I'm glad to hear the positive feedback.
We do appreciate it. Any other comments?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
I don't get a picture with the mayor.
When you get your Eagle Scout badge, then, John. Not until then. Yeah. Any other public comment on matters not on the agenda this evening? Seeing none, we're going to move on to public hearings. Public hearing 2015-11, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 221 titled Parks and Recreation Areas of the Township Code of Hillsborough by the establishment of regulations for a township dog park. As indicated when this ordinance was introduced, Hillsborough Township wishes to establish a dog park to be located at Ann Van's Middleworth Park. It is therefore necessary and in the best interest of the township residents to establish rules and regulations for the operation of that park. We have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2015-11.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, is there any discussion from the dais?
Mayor, is with any dog park, obviously, we have to put some type of requirements in place so that everyone understands the rules and regulations for the safety of both the dogs and the people that are using the park. I know there is great anticipation for the rules because people are already anxious to get out there and get their dogs to the park. I know as a dog owner myself, I'm looking forward to getting over there. It's within walking distance of my home, but it's certainly something that when you look at the way it's set up from a rules perspective, mirroring a lot of what the county has done, but just common sense stuff with any dog park that needs to be in place for safety purposes. So everything in there makes a lot of sense to me.
Great, thank you. Any other comments from the dais? Seeing none, comments from the floor? Yes, please, state your name, record.
Getting the hang of it. Susan Gulliford.
Address too, please, just for the record.
Oh, Pine Club Road. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm never sure which meeting I should say that for. I've been involved with dogs for a long time. The two questions, well, there's one thing. Anyone who takes a food container into a dog park is on their own. But under N, as in November, about securing the access gate, without seeing the design of the dog park, I've actually written articles on dog parks. Is there going to be a double gate, what's called like an airlock, where if you've ever tried to make it out of your house and not take the dog?
The answer is yes.
Yes.
There is, okay, because I saw it only referred to the gate, and I thought, please let it have a double airlock gate. Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion from the floor? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance 2015-11?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Delacqua?
Yes.
Committeeman Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Moving on to resolution, considerations this evening. Resolution number 1, authorizing the hiring of summer employees Nicholas Villa and Brian Bloom for the Department of Public Works with a start date on or about June 10, 2015, at a salary of $10 per hour, funded through the Clean Communities Grant. The Clean Communities Grant provides funding for temporary summer help in the Parks and Department and for the Department of Public Works. This particular resolution authorizes the hiring of the above-mentioned summer employees. As always, we do appreciate those grant programs. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. In a second?
Second.
Any comments from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Committeeman Delacqua?
Yes.
Committeeman Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Abstain.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Resolution number 2, consideration number 2, resolution approving place-to-place transfer of liquor license number 1810-44-017-002 from Hillsborough Wine Company LLC for premises located at 601 Route 206, Suite 7, Hillsborough Township, to 601 Route 206, Suite 3, Hillsborough Township. This resolution authorizes the place-to-place transfer of the above-mentioned liquor license within the Nelson's Corner Shopping Center. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, roll call.
Committeeman Delacqua?
Yes.
Committeeman Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Resolution number 3, authorizing a special item of revenue and appropriation. This resolution requests the Director of Division of Local Government Services to approve the insertion of grant funds from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, the Clean Communities, in the amount of $92,409.86 in the 2015 budget. This amount represents a significant increase over last year's grant of just $16,000. As always, as I mentioned, grant money is greatly appreciated here in Hillsborough Township. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Comments from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Delport?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, resolution number 4, requesting approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to establish a dedicated trust by rider for the federal forfeiture funds. The Hillsborough Police Department is participating in a federal equity sharing program, which will enable the township to receive proceeds from the federal forfeiture funds, forfeiture statutes, excuse me, are now prevalent throughout the federal legal code, and their use, along with other important anti-crime measures, has had a significant impact on crime. One of the most important provisions of asset forfeiture is the authorization to share federal forfeiture proceeds with the cooperating state and local law enforcement agencies. The Department of Justice Asset Forfeiture Program serves not only to deter crime, but also to provide valuable additional resources to state and local law enforcement agencies. This resolution requests the Director of the Division of Local Government Services to establish a dedicated trust by rider for such funds. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Delport?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, resolution number 5, authorizing Mazer Consulting, PA, to prepare engineering plans and technical specifications required for the Triangle Road project in an amount not to exceed $26,300, and for New Emerald Road project in an amount not to exceed $16,800. This resolution authorizes Mazer to prepare engineering and technical plans pursuant to ADA requirements for the Triangle Road project. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? From the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Delport?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes. Resolution number 6, authorizing the hiring of David Maskey as Planning Director with an annual salary of $96,500, effective July 6, 2015. After an extensive interview process, a selection has been made, and we welcome David to our team. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais?
Mayor, I had the opportunity to interview a number of the candidates, including Mr. Maskey, and I think he will fit in very nicely with the township.
Great. Any other comments? Comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mayor Delport?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, moving on to our consent agenda this evening. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the dais? Comments from the floor? Seeing none, roll call.
Mayor Delport?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, moving on to claims list. May I have a motion to approve claims list 2015-11?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Delport?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Mayor Thompson?
Yes, this concludes our regular meeting this evening. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. Have a great evening.